In today's video, I'll be talking about what happened when you use a China head gasket. If you are replacing your head gasket, you have three options. You can use a thicker head gasket, you can also use a China head gasket, or OEM gasket, which is original equipment manufacturer gasket. There are the three options that you have. But in this video, I'll focus on what happens if you use a China head gasket. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about diesel engine. Now let's go straight to the point. What happens when you use a China head gasket? Whether knowingly or unknowingly, if you use a China head gasket, you simply increase the engine compression. Yes, you increase the compression of the engine. And when you increase the compression of the engine, it comes along with something. With what? Power. You increase the engine power. That is the beauty of using a China air gasket. You increase the engine power by reducing the engine, by increasing the engine compression. But it also comes with some disadvantage, which I must tell you, which is what? The first one is that you have reduced the clearance volume of the engine. And when the engine clearance volume is too low, what may happen? If the compression is too much, the high compression may be causing damage to your head gasket. Yes, when you have too much compression, it may damage your head gasket. Another thing is that then your piston may hit the valve, because when you reduce the clearance volume, that is, the clearance volume means the distance between the piston and your head and your cylinder head. Yes, when your piston is at TDC, the distance between, if this is your piston, then this is your cylinder head. This clearance is what's referred to as your clearance volume. So that clearance volume, it matters a lot. By the time you reduce the thickness of your head gasket, you have tampered the clearance volume of the engine. So it's either you increase it or you increase or you reduce. So if you reduce, when you use a China head gasket, it means you have reduced the clearance volume of the engine, and as a result of that, the piston may hit the valves. So those are the disadvantage of increasing the clearance volume of the engine and using a China head gasket. Then the question is on which one should you go for if you are replacing your head gasket. Is it thicker head gasket? Is it China head gasket? Or is this OEM head gasket? Which one? I will suggest that you go for OEM head gasket, which is original equipment manufacturer gasket. Why? Because the manufacturer have researched and they have concluded that the thickness of the engine, that is good for your model of your engine. But sometimes there is need for you to change the thickness of your gasket. That's just the truth. Look, for example, you have done resurfacing on your engine deck, which is I'm talking about the surface of your cylinder head. You have resurfaced it. When you resurface it, then something must happen. It's either after you couple the engine, you notice either the clearance volume is high or low, and it's usually high because the surface has been reduced. You have worked on the surface of the engine deck and your cylinder head. As a result of that, if you reduce it if you put a thicker gasket, then you will notice that you have low compression. If you conduct a compression test, you have a low compression due to what? Due to the gap between your cylinder head and your engine block. So at that scenario, you may need a China head gasket, but on rare cases. So if you don't work on your block, that is your block deck or your cylinder head surface, then go for prescribed manufacturer head gasket. Maintain the thickness that you remove there, and it will give you exactly what you want. So if you are using thinner head gasket, that is what you are getting. Increase you get increase power, increment in power. Then you also have increment in engine compression, but you have reduced your clearance volume, and you are at risk of your valve hitting the cylinder, your piston hitting the valve. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in my next video, Mr. Engine.